well-orientated, well-settled dementia residents and dementia units say, we're all next door neighbours here, we all live in the same building, so they'd just treat it as a nursing home apartment block and the corridor being the main street. So if you were lucky, a neighbour would help you to your room if you'd forgotten where it was. Otherwise, one of the nursing staff would do that. But this whole ethos or arrangement of considering it a nursing home apartment block, that we're all neighbours and we live together, was actually a heartwarming concept for the dementia residents, because all you really needed to do to be part of the community was to live there, to have a warm expression, to be friendly, and hopefully recognise the other people. You didn't need to remember their names, of course, few did, but you'd recognise the people that you had meals with and your friends, and that was enough in this community. So there were few requirements, but friendliness is actually quite a big requirement of living in a dementia unit and being part of the neighbourhood, because if you're a grumpy neighbour, it's pretty difficult for people to be friendly to you when you're grumpy. So of course, there's always going to be probably 2 or 3 distressed residents in any dementia facility, similar maybe to a neighbourhood. And it can be difficult to settle these people, even though staff, residents and relatives also try. But at least for the other 27 residents, if there's 30 in a dementia unit, they can all make that effort to be friendly, to commune, to communicate, to support each other. And indeed they do. And with this effort of being friendly, of treating it like a community, of treating it like a neighbourhood, then the day-to-day events are much more harmonious as a result. I mean, at the dementia facility, because it's a neighbourhood in their eyes now, a nursing home, the start of the day is good morning to everybody, to all your neighbours, your next door neighbour. When you're going down the corridor, when you're at breakfast time, it's always a nice moment when you say good morning to your friendly neighbour at your dining table or your good friend. So in this way, the neighbourly spirit goes very well in a dementia unit if people aren't depressed or stressed, if they're well supported and they have the basic amenities at hand. If they're well supported with a warm room, comfortable bedding, their familiar nice things around them, supportive friends and family, hopefully a watch so they know the time, door orientation so they can get to their room, a comfortable seat in the dining area and access to be able to see the smart TV and go to the activities, and really along with nice meals which are provided every 3 hours, 8, 12 or few hours, 8, 12 and 5. Dementia residents consider that they're well catered to. So it's just getting over that first hump of coming into the dementia facility. That's the big stumbling block. That's why it's really worth spending a lot of time helping with that, which I've done so much on that in these 2 books, The Resident's Voice and The Resident's Rise, so that the person can acclimatise and adjust, and especially initially have their own room, which they can consider as their own home. So it's set up with a nice view, their lovely lounge chair, their magazines they like reading, warm bedding, a rug they can lie under in the daytime, etc. When that's all set up, especially initially, the person does like to spend most time in their room because they don't know anyone. But quietly from there, they'll venture out. And if they have a friendly neighbour, a friendly female neighbour, which often is the case, dementia residents that have been there a long time will be friendly to the person next door, who they'll be meeting 4 or 5 times a day as they walk up and down the corridor, either going to meals or going back to their room for toileting. So if the person can get into the throes of that and get to know just one neighbour, then they'll get to know the whole neighbourhood easily after that. They only just need to get to know one person. Or even if that doesn't happen, at the dining table where they're at with the 3 other people, getting to know those 3 people, because you'll be sitting with them 3 times a day. if you can eat your meal with a friendly demeanour, a smile, the odd comment with the 3 other ladies that you're sitting with at the meals, that's enough. That's fine. That's enough to be part of the neighbourhood. And of course, going to the activities. It's like neighbourhood watch, community events. I mean, that happens all day, every day. So if you can join in the community spirit of being part of the activities, then automatically you will be accepted in the group, because it's a formal activity that everyone goes to. And if you can enjoy that and partake in that, even if not all activities, at least some of the activities, then you'll find that that community spirit automatically happens. So being interested in, for example, the news, and being interested in listening to the press, that will facilitate neighbourly friendship, because there's always 10 or 12 people that go to that press reading every single morning. I mean, if all you did was go to the newspaper reading every morning and all the meals, and you were friendly at that and you enjoyed eating and having a nice meal served to you by the staff, that actually takes up half the day. So the rest of the time you can be quiet, you know, looking out the window, feeding the birds, sitting on the veranda, whatever you like. But it is helpful if you can feel and start to feel and experience that this is a neighbourly community that you're part of. You still have your family, your outside family, of course, but really this is your new family, because this is the family, this is the place where you're spending all day, all night, 24/7. Even the most supportive family won't be in for more than an hour a day, and you've still got another 23 hours or 18 hours of being awake with these people. So the people that orientate best are the ones that orientate to the community, to the activities, and to the routine. That's also another thing. It can be quite difficult to, you know, get used to the routine. If you're an early riser, perfect, up at 6, up at 7, showering, breakfast at 8, no problem. But if you're a person that likes to get up at 9 o'clock in the morning, it's difficult, because you have to get up at 7 o'clock at the latest in a dementia unit, because breakfast is at 8. So that can really be a stumbling block to easing into the community if you don't want to get up for breakfast. Firstly, you're not seeing the people or the dementia residents if you stay in your room at breakfast time. And of course, then you're not part of the routine, you're resisting the routine. It's quite difficult in a dementia unit to resist the routine because it is quite a routine. And if you go along with it, everyone's happy. But if you don't, it is more difficult, because it means the staff have to do double work to get the breakfast to you. So there's lots of factors. But really, if you're, the majority of women, being mainly women in dementia units, the majority of women coming in are nice, friendly, lovely ladies. And as long as they can adjust to the routine and get used to going to meals with a lot of other people, and hopefully enjoy the activities and the newspaper reading, maybe the exercises, then they can fit in just fine once that first 2 or 3 months of assimilation and adjusting is taken into consideration. Initially, it's always difficult, but if they make a friend and they can warm to the neighbourhood, and they've got 1 or 2 social people in the group who welcome them in, who pitch the whole experience of being there as a nursing home and like an apartment block, and everyone, we all live here together and we're brothers and sisters. That's how they like it. They like, this is a nursing home for elderly people and we're all brothers and sisters here. So that's the main pitch that they like. So I've written 2 books on these topics, all about this, the resident's voice and the resident's rise, how these wonderful dementia residents manage in these constrained facilities. Thank you, and they're on Amazon. Thank you for your looks and your subscriptions, and yes, thank you. Subscriptions are coming in. Fantastic. I really appreciate this. Thank you for your support, and please pass on the links.